Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Preamble. We, the sovereign Filipino, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and human society and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, secure to ourselves and posterity the blessings of independence and democracy, under the rule of law and regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace, the ordain and promulgate this Constitution. Article 1. National Territory. The national territory comprises the Philippines archipelago with all the islands and waters, embrace terrain and all other territories over which the Philippines has sovereignty or jurisdictional a jurisdiction consisting of its terrestrial, fluvial, and aerial domains, including its territorial sea, the subsoil, the insular shelves, and other submarine areas, the waters around, between, and connecting the islands of the archipelago, regardless of their breadth and dimensions, form part of the internal waters of the Philippines.
Article 2. Declaration of Principles and State Policies. Section 1. The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. Section 2. The Philippines renounces war as an instrument of national policy, adopts the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land, and adheres to the policy of peace, equality, justice, freedom, cooperation, and amity with all nations.
Section 3. Civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military and armed force of the Philippines, is the protector of the people, and the state his or her goal is to secure the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of the national territory. Section 4. The prime duty of the government is to secure and serve and protect the people. The government may call upon the people to defend the state and in the fulfillment, therefore, all citizens can be required under the condition provided by law to render personal, military, or civil service.
Article 2, Section 5. The maintenance of peace and order, the protection of life, liberty, and property, and the promotion of the general welfare are essential for the enjoyment by all the people of the blessing of democracy. Section 6. The separation of church and state shall be inviolable. State policies. Section 7. The state shall pursue an independent foreign policy in its relation with other states. The paramount consideration shall be national sovereignty, territorial integrity, national interest, and the right to self-determination.
In Section 8, the Philippines system with the national interest adopts and pursues a policy of freedom from nuclear weapon in its territory. And Section 9, the state shall promote a just and dynamic social orders and free the people from poverty through policies that provide adequate social services, promote full employment, a rising standard of living, and an improved quality of life all.
The state shall promote social justice in all phases of national development. 11. The state values of the dignity of every human and guarantees full respect of human rights. Section 12. The state recognizes the necessity of family life and shall perfect and strengthen the family as a basic autonomous social institution. It shall equally protect the life of the mother and life of the unborn from conception, the natural and primary rights and the duty of parents in the rearing of the youth. For civic efficiency and the development of moral character shall receive the support of the government.
Article 2, Section 13. The state recognizes the vital role of the youth in nation building and shall promote and protect their physical, moral, spiritual, intellectual, and social patriotism and nationalism, and encourage their involvement in public and civic affairs. The Section 14. The state recognizes the role of women in nation building and shall ensure the fundamental equality before the law of women and men.
Article 3, Bill of Rights, Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. And Section 1, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the law. Ang section na ito ay nagsasabing hindi pwedeng patayin or i-deprive ang isang tao. Sa section na ito ay pinapahayag ang paglabag sa karapatang mabuhay at maging malaya ang isang tao. Rights of liberty, kalayaan mong gawin ang mga bagay na iyong gustong gawin na walang nangingialam na kahit sino. Pero ang mga kalayaang ito mayroong lamang limitasyon, dapat sundin. The right of property, ito naman yung mga karapatang mag-ari at gumamit ng anumang mga bagay basta hindi ito lalagpas sa limitasyon ng batas.
Article 3, Section 2. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, house, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable, and no search warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witness he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Section 3. Number 1. The privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court, or when public safety or order requires otherwise as prescribed by law. Number 2. Any evidence obtained in violation of this or the preceding section shall be inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding.
Section 4. No law shall be passed regarding the freedom of speech, of expression, to assemble the petition the government for guidance or convents. And Section 5, no law shall be made inspecting and establishment of religion and prohibiting the free exercise. Therefore, free exercise and enjoyment of religion, profession, and worship.
Article 4. Citizenship. Section 1. The following are citizens of the Philippines. Number 1. Those who are citizens of the Philippines at the time of the adoption of this Constitution. Number 2. Those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines. Number 3. Those born before January 17, 1973 of Filipino mothers who elect Philippine citizenship upon reaching the age of majority. And number 4. Those who are naturalized in accordance with law. Section 2. Natural born citizens are those who are citizens of the Philippines from birth without having to perform any act to acquire or perfect their Philippine citizenship. Those who elect Philippine citizenship in accordance with paragraph 3 section 1 hereof shall be deemed natural born citizens. Section 3. Philippine citizenship may be lost or reacquired in the manner provided by law.
Article 4, Section 4. Citizens of the Philippines who marry alien shall retain their citizenship, unless by their act or omission they are deemed under the law to have renounced it. Section 5. Dual allegiance of citizens is inimical to the national interest and shall be dealt with by the law.
Article 5. Suffrage. In Section 1, suffrage may be exercised by all citizens of the Philippines not otherwise disqualified by law, who are at least 18 years of age and who shall have resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year, and in the place wherein they propose to vote for at least 6 months. Immediately preceding the election, no literacy, property, or other substantive requirements shall be imposed on the exercise of suffrage. Section 2. The Congress shall provide system for securing the secrecy and sanctity of the ballot, as well as a system for absentee voting by qualified Filipino abroad.
Article 6, Section 3. No person shall be senator unless he is a natural-born citizen of the Philippines, and on the day of the election is at least 35 years of age, able to read and write, a registered voter, and a resident of the Philippines for not less than 2 years immediately preceding the day of the election. Section 4. The term of office of the senators shall be 6 years and shall commence unless otherwise provided by law. At noon on the 30th day of June next following their election. No senator shall serve for more than 2 consecutive terms. Voluntary resignation of the office for any length of time shall not be considered as an interruption in the country, a continuity of his service for the full term for which he was elected.
Section 5. The House of the Representatives shall be composed of more than 250 members unless otherwise fixed by law. House shall be elected from legislative district opportune among the province, cities, and the municipality Manila area and according with the number of their representatives and or the basis of a uniform and progressive ratio and there who as provided by the law shall be through or party less system of registering national, regional, and electoral parties of organization.
Article 7, Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in the President of the Philippines. Section 2. No person may be elected President unless he is natural-born citizen of the Philippines, a registered voter, able to read and write, at least 40 years of age on the day of the election, and a resident of the Philippines for at least 10 years, immediately preceding such election.
Section 3. There shall be a Vice President who shall have the same qualification and terms of office and be elected with and in the same manner as the President. He may be removed from office in the same manner as the President.
The Vice President may be appointed as a member of the Cabinet. Such appointment requires no confirmation. Section 4. The President and the Vice President shall be elected for direct vote of the people for a term of 6 years, which shall begin at noon on the 30th day of the June next following the day of the election, and shall end at noon of the same day 6.
Section 5. Before they enter on the execution of their office, the President, the Vice President, or the acting President shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully and conscientiously fulfill my duties as President, or Vice President or acting President of the Philippines, preserve and defend its Constitution, execute its laws, do justice to every man, and consecrate myself to the service of the nation, so help me God. In case of affirmation, last sentence will be continued.
Article 8. Judicial Department. Section 1. The judicial power shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such lower courts as may be established by law.
Article 8, Section 2. The Congress shall have be or the power to define, prescribe, and opportunity and jurisdiction of various counts may not deprive the Supreme Court of the jurisdiction over causes enumerated by Section 5. And Section 2. No law shall be passed reorganizing the jurisdiction when it's undermine the security of tenure of its members.
Section 3. The judiciary shall enjoy fiscal autonomy. Appropriations for the judiciary may not be reduced by the legislature below the amount appropriated for the previous year, and after approval shall be automatically and regularly released.
Section 4. The Supreme Court shall be composed of a Chief Justice and 14 Associate Justices. It may sit en banc or in its discretion in divisions of 3, 5, or 7 members. Any vacancy shall be filled within 90 days from the occurrence thereof.
Section 5. The Supreme Court shall have the following powers. 1. Exercise original jurisdiction over cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, and over petition for certiorari prohibition, mandamus, coaranto, and habeas corpus. 2. Review, revise, reverse, modify, or affirm on appeal or certiorari. As the law of the rules, court may provide final judgments and orders of law courts in